Hello everybody. Are you surprised I fit in the Lupo GTI being 6'6"? Somehow I fit. Let's crack on with this driving chat. Driving chat is back. Now this will be a very, very cool video if you're interested in that sort of thing. Hopefully nobody tries to race me because I've got about 4.5 horsepower and I weigh 400 tons, so yeah, I've got about 2 horsepower. But I thought I needed to do an update video anyway, and what better way to do an update video rather than just kind of sitting in a setting, stationary setting. You get to watch me drive an old legend and update you. Anyway, so on this update video, there was a few points I wanted to cover, kind of give you something to look forward to is the best way I can describe it. Now you may have noticed we have been quieter than usual. Now that is obviously that's been done for a reason, because every time that we post anything across any of our platforms, or if we engage in a certain kind of tactic, we go, as always, ballistic. So we've kind of toned it down a little bit on purpose, just to give us a little bit of breathing room, and it's for a very good reason. So we've opened our doors mid-January, I would say, kind of roughly, and for the people who have been down here, you would have seen a consistent flow of vans or certain things being done within the HQ. Now we've got 2 floors, we've got many rooms, and each room obviously has a designated task, but it has a certain kind of fit out value in our case. Now the question anybody would ask is, well, why didn't you do that before you move in? Well, easier said than done, especially obviously you know the story, I'm not going to retouch on it again, but when you were kind of, when we made a hasty exit from HQ 1.0 to HQ 2.0 and having to kick the entire building team out the door. Now that is a dedicated video in its own way. So we kicked them out because they're absolutely shocking. And we kind of said, right, we're going to do the work ourselves. We always knew that there was going to be a big cost right towards the end to do all the pretty bits, as I call it. And you've seen on all our social media, I keep talking about pretty bits. Those pretty bits cost, and they require a bit of a lead time, especially if something is being kind of custom made to your needs. So we toned it down a little bit. We made a clear, concise plan. We've always thought that towards the tail end of summer, we are going to be, I would say, as fully operational as that word can ever be translatable into. And we are, what are we in now? We are in the beginning of June. So I think we're right on track with kind of our timeline. So this is what's happened in between obviously January and now. We've took on two new distribution points. We've took on, of course, Denmark. Now Denmark is actually an interesting place because the company that we have kind of partnered with want to do not only Denmark, they want to do the whole Northern Territory, so Finland, Sweden, all those type of northern Scandinavian kind of countries, Nordic countries. We're obviously going to take it slow like we always do, and we're going to kind of take over one country at a time. And we've also took on the Netherlands. Now, the Netherlands, I'm not going to say yet who it is. It's quite an interesting development. The person, I'm just going to call it that, the person who we have kind of decided with is, very interesting, let's call it that. So we've just took that on. As of the timing of this video, the palletized order is waiting to go out as we speak. So obviously that's kind of like a cool new development. We've got Central and Northern Europe pretty much, I would say, give or take, on lockdown. So again, that has took quite a little bit of work because we have been upping our production even though we didn't need to. But as soon as we up production, it seemed like the order values seem to have also increased. So it seemed like we haven't actually upped anything. Like kind of right now we're doing a major kind of like a backpedal operation. No matter what we do, how much we order, and it's a lot right now, you know, we hold an obscene amount of stock. For some reason, it's almost not enough. So that's the European kind of update, that's done. The American update is we've actually we have changed our business model ever so slightly. We have actually gone direct to dealer, not direct to consumer. We still go direct to consumer, you know, if the people want to pay the shipping for something niche and stuff like that. But now we've got multiple independent importers within the US. Now they've all, you know, when that news kind of broke from us, they of course said, well, we want to order as well. Now when the Americans order, it's not your, you know, tiddly bit. It's, you know, quite big orders, multiple importers kind of doing it. So the backpedal operation that I'm talking about all ties into the same thing, you know, with the Americans. So it's been a little bit tough. We've kind of, again, thank God we decided prior to this to scale back some of the social media presence. Now going back to the unit, because we are finishing the work ourselves with our trusted traders, I have a very good phrase: the best people aren't available tomorrow, unfortunately. I wish they were. So when you ring, I don't know, your plasterer, your handyman, he's not going to say, oh, hello, Nick, today's a Tuesday, oh, I'll come 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's not how it works. Sometimes you've got to wait weeks. Now, you're waiting weeks for tradesmen, you're waiting multiple months for certain items, so obviously you've got to kind of marry up that level of workmanship altogether with the deliveries and the workmanship. And that what has actually brought us to the first week of July right now is delays or just manufacturing lead times. Last week we've actually finished our custom toilet. Now this toilet, I like it. It's like, again, a toilet's a toilet. Come on, let's be real here. But the way we've done it, it's very nice. It's kind of finished in the bare form. We're just going to obviously put our pretty bits, which again are arriving tomorrow, Friday, you know, so it's a couple of days wait. We've got some kind of artwork arriving. So it's like a very, very nice toilet, even though, you know, a toilet is there just for one job. So the toilet's been done. The same handyman / the same supplier for what we've got in the toilet has also then gone upstairs into the podcast room. We've finalized the podcast room. We've kind of insulated everything that we could with the sound. Of course, sound's very important. Great video, but crap sound again is not perfect. So we've got the wall in. A couple of weeks ago, we had our custom furniture for the podcast. Well, some of it, the seatable furniture, arrived from Italy. That was a 7-8 week kind of waiting time for manufacturing. Very simple, but when you go to a good company, unfortunately, you are not the number one customer, and you're certainly not the number one in the queue. So that arrived. I've got my custom built Mac. Was it Mac Studio? 128 or 256 gig RAM, you know, just ridiculous. I went on to Apple UK and I literally went Studio, and I went down the list and I went tick, 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 you know, everything kind of 8 terabyte storage, all that type of malarkey. That's still in the box. That's been here for 3 months. And that's because I didn't want to unpack it when there's dust, stuff like that. You may have seen in February time I had a custom desk arrive for the said podcast / office room. That has been in its packaging. I hope it's not broken because I'm way out of the kind of like the warranty side of things. That's been in since February, in its box. Same reason, didn't want to open it because there's like dust, people soaring and all that type of stuff. So we're now actually ready. One thing that's just happened a couple of days ago, the AC unit that is housed within the podcast room has just decided to totally die. So rather than wasting probably just as much money trying to repair it on tangible things, the company who's done our whole fit out for AC, I basically just rang them up and I said, look, to get us a new AC unit in there. In the summer, it's baking hot. In the winter, it's icy cold. So either way, I'm going to suffer. So new AC units coming in, and that is the last bit for the podcast studio. That is coming on the 16th of July, 2023, in case you watch this back in a few years' time. Yeah, they're coming in again. There's going to be a bit of a problem because that office, podcast room, whatever, is actually custom built. We've had the ceilings ripped down. We've replastered the whole ceiling. So obviously the AC unit is housed within the brand new, beautifully plastered ceiling. You will eventually see it when I do the unit tours and when we do the guided tours, whatever, at the place. So we're going to have to be extremely careful not to rip the plaster / drywall for all our American friends who watch this channel. So as of touch wood, I'm touching every piece of wood that as of the 16th of July, I can erect basically the best office in the country. That shouldn't take too long, it should take half a day. And then at that point, this is where obviously this video kind of ties into this whole thing. This is when I think the real push will start, because I've had so much. I was on a live last week on Instagram and somebody asked me, they said, like, have you got plans to do Wash and Chats podcast? What's this, what's that? You know, so you're gonna have to feel this power. This is an open road, 4 horsepower at 5,000 RPM. That's the speed limit. So that is so slow. So people are asking, but this specific person said, look, are you doing more Wash and Chats? Are you doing this? Nothing has stopped. A lot of people said, well, when's the podcasting coming back? Hopefully, what I have just explained to you regards the podcasting, you can't film. A lot of people seem to not understand. I get emails all the time. I mean, we're still, the current upload schedule, we post probably in the top 3 within our industry anyway. In the UK, we post we're in the top 3 of uploads. Like, we are hammering the media. But for us, I never like to settle for things. Go on, my son. So to me, we are in last place, you know, because we're so driven to upload daily on YouTube or whatever that, you know, however that vision looks, high quality, 4K, 8K, I'm getting onto that point next, content that will just, you know, kill anybody in the quality department. But you can't do that. People seem to not understand. You've got, you know, tens of thousands of pounds of actual media equipment, probably the same in fixed equipment. You can't just erect that up, have every tradesman, you know, in Yorkshire come here, rip walls, you know, make dust on, you know, that value of investment of equipment. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't happen, you know. It won't happen with me because I take care of my things. But now that everything seems to have lined up correctly, looks like towards the tail end of July, we're back to normal for the first time. Well, if you think about it, we got into a mess January, February of 2022. So we are a year and a half, you know, a year and a bit more than a half into this whole mess operation of moving, reinventing ourselves of 4.5 years of investment in 3.5 months. If you're in the building industry, refit industry or fit out industry, you will know just how much money we have spent. It's like literally, I'm on the verge of selling Kelly off. I wonder how much she would fetch actually. Make me your best offer in the comments. Take it, whatever it is, I'll take it. You know what I mean? So it's been hard, but tail end of July, I'm looking at the calendar now, it's, well, 3rd, 4th of July, and I'm thinking, yes, you know, this is like I'm within spitting distance now of being back to normal and actually hitting you with content that you will not believe that is coming. I've got a list, like I said this on Instagram Live. I've got a list that you will not believe. It's, you know, I could film every day for 3 years and still not have enough content. That's what's in my famous black book of kind of content. Now, probably the most exciting part of the media segment I've just touched on is probably the podcasting. For the first time ever, we've got a dedicated space. It's literally a labyrinth of, if you're into your tech and into your office man cave, this is going to be a little bit of both. I've got some special guests lined up. I've got some long form conversations that I want to have with the world, both on the membership platform and on the public kind of YouTube channel. All of that had to stop. I just hope people, this is why I really wanted to do this video, I just hope people actually understand what we have just gone through. It has been probably the hardest 1.5 to 2 years of my life, and I've had some hard years, you know, been deployed abroad to Afghanistan, all that type of stuff. I mean, this year has been, well, this period in my life has been actually quite sketchy. So, and again, the whole world imploded, all this family in Ukraine, all these type of things on top of, like, if you could make it up, you probably couldn't make up the situation that we have just survived. So it's been quite cool. But the podcasting stuff, a lot of people are itching and they're gagging. They're like, we want podcast back, we want podcast back, and it's coming. You know, I've got everything lined up for it. It's like, I can't possibly lie, I've just spent an obscene amount of money on that room for that one sole purpose. So that's that kind of out the way. We've just hired a new girl. Her name is Marta. Lovely girl. She's Ukrainian. It's got nothing to do with my heritage of where I'm from. We were looking for a person who had certain qualities, and lucky for her, she was the person. Whether she was from Japan, France, Ukraine, doesn't really matter, England, she just happened to be the one. Now, one day I'll hopefully get her on. She's learning English, so obviously I'm the translator. I'll get her on camera. You can hear me speak a little bit of Ukrainian and stuff like that, but I'm currently the translator. We're going through a training period with her, but she is basically the person who is pouring, packing, capping, operating all of those machines, packing orders, packing distribution orders, basically everything. She's a hustler. So she's got a little girl. It's a bit of a sad story. Her husband cannot leave Ukraine. She needs her husband here. We are actually paying her, so I'm good like that with Kelly. I believe in, like, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, you know that expression? So people say, oh, you know, minimum wage and all this stuff, this minimum wage, right up where the sun don't shine. We pay a very, very, very good amount of money, and we don't need to. There is actually no need to do that. But we, obviously, she got a daughter. I feel like we're a little bit responsible for the upbringing of a daughter. You pay her well, she can have a good education, she can eventually, she's under that Homes for Ukraine scheme. We're helping her look for her own house. And it all starts with, how much money do you earn? At the end of the day, if you earn £500 a month, you can't live in the UK. So we are paying her a very good amount of money. She's lovely. Once she learns proper English, I'll get her on a video. I'll try and get her to come on a video anyway and say hello in her English. It's really funny. So we're going through a training period right now with her. So this is how you touch a bottle. This is how you look at a bottle. If a customer speaks to you, this is how you speak to your customer. So we're training to be a mini us, and she's very receptive actually, so which is really cool. But the training periods, again, everything has to stop. So when something leaves our door, it leaves our door in the world's best condition, as you all know. It arrives in a timely manner, as you all know. And we are replicating this multiple times with staff, and each member of staff can't be left on their own. So we're going through an 8 to 12 weeks, I'd say low end, medium end kind of level of training, which everybody has to have. So I've actually arrived at my destination, but with the staff, again, just on the final point, we've on purpose and fully tactical move here. We've took a step back. We're like, right, let's mainline where we are. Let's like tread water, let's say. Let everybody catch up. Only joking. Let's tread water and let's do a tactical pause, train who we need to train, get the work finished off, because if we try and operate in fact, a friend of mine, the family, Nigel, his son, Harry, all this, they actually came yesterday, okay? They came up to come say hello. And they were like, oh my God, this facility, it's beautiful, this and that. Like, you're mad for thinking there's like a bump in the wall, like a little piece of, I don't know, fiber from the roller. Like, you guys are mad. So obviously, like, we have a standard. We maintain a certain standard in the entire area of our life, business and personal life. So to us, it is what it is. Like, to us, it's not yet the standard. And they're like, well, you can be like fully operational 3 months ago. But basically what we didn't want to do is get flowing. Imagine like smashing it, like let's go tomorrow. And then something happens where you need to do this, you need to drill, it's not how life should be done. So this is why we took the tactical pause. I've got new equipment coming. I mean, I've got a full podcasting kind of suite being set up. I'm looking at getting a new 8K camera, a bit useless because 99% of TVs aren't yet 8K, but you know, the data file is there already in 8K, even though your TV may render it down to 4K. I mean, I can't believe we're talking about rendering down to 4K, but it is what it is, you know, new lenses, new everything. So it's a huge investment happening to this. And when I wake up on a certain day and I say, this is the day, here we go again, let's go and take another 50 leaps forward in life, that will be done when you can actually scale properly. You cannot scale something effectively where you're on for 2 weeks, off for 6 weeks, 2, 6, 2, 6. It's not how life works, whether it's fitness, building a house, building a business. And yeah, I just wanted to say, like, we are very, very close. Of course, again, that sort of topic that you're all asking me about. Nick, when is a car meet coming? When is a car coffee coming? It's all coming because of the reasons I've just told you. Cars and coffee's huge. I mean, I've got people lining up, they're waiting, they're keeping an eye on that stupid social media events page. People sending me screenshots that were drawing, you know, on their phones or question marks saying nothing here yet. Please stop sending me those. It's coming. Yeah, and that's pretty much the update. New distribution, new staff, new equipment, a pile of media ideas that are like literally this big, that are all going to be filmed. So the goal is, again, we're going to film everything to how we do it. It's not a how-to, it's how we kind of do it, which is about 98% of how to do it. We just kind of add in a few different things. Podcasting, trips, again, as you could see, I'm on a camera, in a car, driving, it's possible. I've got, what's it called, 3-axis gimbal, so it's quite cool. You've seen me, you know, I kept to the speed limit on one of the roads and it didn't fall off. Hopefully the sound's good, insulation, all that type of stuff. So all the road trips, the wash and drives and all this. But yeah, that is it. I am stoked. I'm literally super excited is not the word. I have been itching. The content is has been maintained, I think, almost to perfection by me. Almost. It's you know, kept that channel growing. We're almost at 7K. Jesus Christ, you know, on YouTube now. To some people, 7,000 not a lot. To some, it's, you know, a million. But to me, obviously YouTube's a little bit slower to kind of grow in general. But once that new media push comes, and actually filming what I want. I've learned a lot in business in the last 5 years, and I've tried to please certain kind of categories of the demographic. Do all the how-tos. You do them, you please that 10%. The other 10% is like, Nick, I want to see wash and chats. You do too many wash and chats, they're like, I want to see how-tos. So with the 2.0 YouTube channel, and you'll see when it comes, I won't tell you, you'll just see. There's, you know, even just on the frequency, and it'll be obvious, but I'm just going to film what I want, how I do it. I've turned off enough people and turned in enough people to know that it's a 50-50 split. I go left, I go right. I'm going to upset somebody. My hair's too spiky. My hair's not spiky enough. I mean, so I've kind of learned that, and I think that's just maturing through YouTube, reading the comments. Some are amazing. Love you. The negative comments, love you. Hope you have a good life. You know, try and sort out your mental state so you don't do any more bad comments on other people's channels. But yeah, just film what I want. Like, share the life. We've got such a story to tell, and I think I've lacked a little bit in the confidence, believe it or not. Like, I turn the camera off and I'll just talk. If you've met me in person, I'll talk some ridiculous things. And sometimes I think there's somebody in London, Scotland, who may not ever get the chance to meet us, you know, in person or at an event or whatever, but wants to know the story. And I sometimes think, do I go really that further 5% to where nobody would actually ever film it? If you look at all the brands, they don't film even the depth we film in. Maybe there's one or two, you know, obviously. Like, you are never the first in today's world of social media. But, you know, it's 0.1% maybe do it. The other 99.9%, they just do, you know, your typical 30-second videos of 30 minutes doing how to wash a wheel, so like real gimmicks. And I think through the maturity of social media, we've kind of learned to film what you want. And I think I've covered everything now. So new staff, final push on the finishing of the fit out, podcast room, media, distribution. I think that's really it. I just wanted to say, obviously, thank you for sticking through us. There's been a bit of a speed bumpy road, kind of, but that's just expected. You know, I'm not even sweating it. So I sweat it because I make the problems in my own head bigger than they are. So when I'm like, I haven't filmed for a day and a half, Kelly will see me at my worst, unfortunately. Nobody will ever see me at my worst. And I'll sit there for 36 hours after I filmed the last video, which, by the way, is ridiculous. And I'll sit there and I'll start sweating and cursing myself out and saying, oh my God, my people haven't seen me for a day and a half. What is it that I do? And we're like, you've just been upside down on the roof dangling from like a zip line, putting something on the roof, you know, like people will understand, like they won't understand. But obviously I'm guessing I'm abnormally not normal. So, you know, I make these problems in my head, and these problems actually don't exist to anybody else. They just exist to me. But again, I think this is where you shine, where you're in that twilight zone, I call it, on the outside of whatever spectrum you want to call it. But yeah, it's there's going to be a big change that is coming. Yeah, we just got support from around the world. I mean, we're speaking to somebody in the Far East now, wanting to import and distribute our products. The Far East, 3,500, 4,000 miles away. Some guy or girl or family is going to potentially use our product. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. I mean, there's people up in Denmark, freezing, 20 foot of snow, want our product. You've got our stuff in, you know, Spain, burning their skins off in 45-degree heat, want our product. We've got quite a lot of states in the US, Florida, New York, all these, like Canada, using our product. I mean, it's, when you think about, when you look at a world map, I sometimes think, Jesus Christ, it's absolutely crazy. And I'm going to do everybody justice. I'm going to do everybody proud. I do it, of course, for myself, for my own sanity. Look, I'm sat here you know, on the side of the road. I just need to go over there across the road, and I'm talking to myself to a camera. not normal, not normal. But that is the update video. I think it's quite poignant because a lot of people asking all these different questions. I've covered, I think, all the points that people normally ask via email, Instagram, whatever. This video, of course, will hopefully explain to you what is coming and why, you know, there was a bit of a delay in many things. But as always, I'm going to say this, guys, I'm going to leave you on this positive note. Thank you very much for supporting me and Kelly and the brand. You guys are probably the unsung heroes in everything. So thank you very much. I hope you like what's coming, and I will catch you very, very soon on to the next episode where we start the new journey. I love you.